I'm wearing my glasses. I'm not in a very fancy mood, fancy whatever. I have a sheet of paper here and you saw it in the title. We're going to deep shade analyze the new Pat McGrath Luminous Legends holiday collection that has been announced this week, and good for you. This is so a bonus video for you. Welcome on the rarely Saturday in my time zone upload, and I want to talk to you about these shades. I want to talk to you about the palettes, and I actually sat down and I looked it up. What are truly dupes? I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer here. How I did this was I basically compared the eyeshadow shades with my collection. You know, I have everything organized in an Excel spreadsheet and I just searched for these shade names. If I couldn't find the shade names in my collection, I Googled them and I found them in different collections of palettes that I personally do not have. And I have to admit though that out of the repeats in this collection that I found, there is only one that I do not have because I do not have the palette. Overall, I am disappointed. Okay, let's just get that straight out of the way. I am so freaking disappointed, not only because we didn't get a true mothership this year, but also because everything, or like so much here in this collection, are repeats from previous holiday releases. I'm very disappointed. And before we head into the main part of that video, on the lips I'm wearing my Half Magic Beauty lip drip. Yeah, Magic Drip Lip Gloss in the shade Problem Child. So let's start with the big Luminous So let's start with the big Luminous Legends Mega Eyeshadow Palette. First of all, let me grab my Mega palettes from the previous years. Can someone please tell me why we do not get 18 shades this year? I am disappointed. Look at this here. This is Celestial Divinity. This is the one where we had the older Star Wars collection in there. Then we have Celestial Nirvana, the first time Pat McGrath gave us some colorful eyeshadows, which are amazing. And then we have Celestial Odyssey, my first eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath in general, by the way. And honestly, they all had 18. This time, we're only getting 15. And the price is the freaking same. I'm already fucked up by that. I love the packaging, the red, the bows, the sparkles, and that's cool, but what I found out is not so cool. So I will not try to describe you the shades, how they look. Here you have a picture of those shades swatched on the typical arms. I do want to say though that when Pat McGrath is doing these swatch photos, they are very overly edited. They are, I don't know, they have added sparkle in them. The saturation is turned up a lot. And I don't like the way they do this, but it's none of my business. I can't change that, but I just want to tell you that this is what you see here. So let me take my notes. So the first two shades, Golden Muse and Coral Caress, Coral Caress, I did not find anywhere. As said in the intro, I did my research through Google. If you find these shades and I didn't, please let the other people know down below. Maybe I just overlooked them because it is quite a big pile of work to do so. So, Golden Muse and Coral Caress I was not able to find. And then we have the shade number 3, which is Honey Nectar. And that was the first hit of a remarketed, repackaged shade. Because Honey Nectar is part of the Bronze Ecstasy of 2023. And it's the shade right here in the middle. And here you have a swatch. It is a beautiful shade though. I don't want to say that these are ugly shades. I just want to show you, you have this probably. Then we have Rose Afterglow that looks a bit like a duochrome, shifting red or rosy to golden, nothing new. Bordeaux Brilliance, where I would have bet some money that we had that shade already. But we don't have that shade already, but do you know what we have? We have a similar palette. We had last year the Bordeaux Bliss palette, and it was the pinky one. I would have sworn to you that Bordeaux Brilliance was already somewhere, but it wasn't. Same as Celestial Cerulean. It's that very, very beautiful, deep, shimmery blue shade. Then we have Flame Fatale, and that immediately, when I saw the name, I already knew we had that shade. And here comes the point where I start to get confused, because here in the picture you see shade 7 Flame Fatale. The same shade, Flame Fatale, we had already in the Mega Celestial Nirvana of 2022. But now, here comes the plot. It's this one. It's a matte in this palette. I don't want to lie to you, it is a fucking beautiful matte. It's one of the best red eyeshadows that I freaking own. Why are you giving a shadow the same name as we already had, but you are changing the formula? But the name Flame Fatale only exists in Mega Celestial Nirvana, and I checked now 2 times here on the bag. 3 times, 4 times. It is this red one down here. I am very, very confused. Then we have Orchid Opulence and Gilded Bronze. Both I was not able to find, although again, I swear to you, I heard the name Gilded Bronze somewhere already, but it could be also in different brands. It does not have to be all Pat McGrath, you know. But next up we have the shade Sun-Kissed Rose. And Sun-Kissed Rose was part of Sunset Romance in 2023. Sun-Kissed Rose is this beautiful mauve shade, and this time let me check, shade 10. Yeah, this time it matches. It's also a matte, but very interesting, in the Sunset Romance they write Sun minus Kissed Rose. Here in the new palette it's all in one word, Sun-Kissed. So again, are you trying to fool us kind of with the research, or what's the point? Here it is, Sun-Kissed Rose, very, very pretty neutral mauve shade. It's a beautiful shade too. Moonlit Mist I was not able to find, but of course I was able to find Lunar Luxury. And I want to be very fair here. I think the fact that they decided to put Lunar Luxury in this palette, that does not surprise me, because it was part of the Bronze Bliss palette. The one that broke a bit the internet because of Lunar Luxury. This is Bronze Bliss from 2022. And that center shade, everybody lost their mind about it because it was that good. It was a new shimmer formulation from Pat. It was never seen before. Let me do it up here. And it is so shiny and reflective. To be honest, that one, I understand that they put this again into the palette because this is truly a special champagne white gold shade, and I see how this is going to be the favorite shade of a lot of people. Then we have Stardust Peony and Platinum Lilac. Platinum Lilac, again, I thought I heard this somewhere, but I didn't. And then we have the last shade of the 15-pan palette. This is Sable Seductress. This is the one that I actually do not have because this was part of the 6-pan palettes that came out, I think, in 2022, where they had different 6-pan neutral palettes, one of them being all matte, that was very popular. And so Sable Seductress is part of the Sublime Seduction mothership. It's a 6-pan, I don't have it, too neutral for me. So to do the math here, out of 15 shades, 5 shades are repeats. So a third of the palette is a repeat, 10 shades are new, at least in the Pat McGrath space, if I did not make any mistakes. Honestly, I'm really not sure how I feel about this because I don't want to pay €70 or even more, depending on where you live, on a palette where a third of the palette I do already have. I know people cannot look for collectors all the time, and I get that Pat McGrath wanted to do a like favorites palette, but then do not do this for holidays, honestly. especially the holiday releases for Pat McGrath, they are palettes that they get collected. Even from people outside the beauty community, they collect Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes because they are made to be collected. And giving us, again, a palette, first of all, $70, less shade than the other Mothership Mega palettes, and then a third of this as a repeat. Very bitter taste. So let's move on to the 5-pan palettes. I want to make that very, very short. We have the Dawn Divinity 5-pan palette, and we have the shades Glowing Desire, Sienna Sunrise, Rose Metallica, Sunlit Nectar, and Twilight Topaz. The only shade that, according to my research, we had already is Glowing Desire. And let me grab my Sunset Romance. Where did I put this? It's here because it's in there from 2023. And Glowing Desire is that very, very neutral first shade here. It's, let me swatch it right here. I didn't swatch with a good plan. It's a very, very basic metallic shade. It's nothing overly sparkly. It's nothing overly shiny. It's a nice basic, maybe inner corner shade. The other 4 are not repeats, and that is probably then the only palette that I might get. Well, another one too, but that's not a real palette, it's a duo. But the Starfall Seduction 5-pan, according to my research, again, please correct me if I'm wrong and put your info down below so that everybody can see it. Pink Moonstone, Eternal Ecstasy, Violet Supernova, and Neptune Noir are all new shades. None of them are repeats according to my research, and if you can confirm that, all the eyeshadow cracks out there, I'm very happy. Then this will probably be the one that I get. So now we have the duos, and I was at first a bit, why the duos? And I still think, why the duos? Because in my opinion, only one of the duos is really special. So let's start with Petalic Passion. We have the 2 shades Crystal Blossom and Petalic Passion, and honestly, I would have sworn that both are new, but they aren't. Again, back into Sunset Romance, because Petalic Passion is this one. It's the last shade here in the palette. It is a rusty, reddy rose shade with a lot of bronzy tones, but more so, again, rusty copper brassy kind of. Again, I like that shade, but it's a repeat. And in total, we have 1, 2, 3 shades of the Sunset Romance Quint from last year that are repeats in the complete collection. And then we have Nirvana Bronze Bliss is one time, Mega Celestial Nirvana of 2022 once, and then the Bronze Ecstasy also once, and then that Sublime Seduction Mothership once. I don't know why Pat McGrath decided to recycle more than half of the palette for that new collection. I have no fucking clue. And the last 2 duos are the Celestial Jade duo. Moonlit Gold and Celestial Jade are both new shades. And then the duo that I will definitely get because it's an Astro formulation. We have Blitz Astro shades back. Pat McGrath, thank you. We have the shades Blitz Gold and Astro Noir. And honestly, I was very, very sure that at least Blitz Gold is in one of the big motherships, but it isn't. It is a completely new Blitz shade and Astro Noir we also didn't see, so yeah. What do I think now after analyzing this? Honestly, I am beyond disappointed in the Mothership Mega palette. I don't like that this is so much repeat. If there were 2 or 3 shades, okay, fine, check that off. But a third of the palette as a repeat? No thank you, Pat. No, thank you. This is a nice palette if you really never had any Pat McGrath eyeshadows, then I think this is a good one to start. In general, the Mega Motherships, in my opinion, are a good way to get to know the brand without investing in a big mothership, but the quality is also a bit different. So when it now comes down to my decision what I want to get or what not, I will get the Starfall Seduction 5-pan because I think this has a really nice color story, and I will get the Astro Noir duo. The rest, honestly, although I'm very, very tempted by the shades that I do not have, I most likely will skip because I'm not willing to spend €70 on a palette where a third of that shit is repeat. Maybe I will get this later on when the holiday season ended, then for a good discount, but that way, full price? No way. Please let me know down below if I missed any of the repeat shades. Put them all down in the comments as said, so everybody can have this here as like a dictionary, a little Pictionary, a little, I forgot the name, like somewhere where you can look things up, like a little Google for that. What are your thoughts on this new collection? I think I said it already. I'm disappointed a bit. I expected so much more since we didn't get a real mothership this year. And what's the future of Pat McGrath? Let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.